And this is Pound for Pound Boxing,
the voice of a new generation,
where we pull back, no punches.
Fight predictions for the month of December.
What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the results of the end of November, and then we're going to move into the beginning of December and do the predictions for those fights. Again, just putting out quickly, sorry you guys that we took us so long to make this video. Both work full-time jobs, very hard to get together to do a show. We're trying our hardest.
Got into the barber shop today, so we all revved up about boxing. Here we go.
So here we go. Results: Fernando Vargas versus Ricardo Mayorga. Mayorga with the 12-round decision.
You know, that to me was the most surprising thing, that they actually went 12 rounds. I didn't officially get to see the fight yet. It's out there. I'm gonna see the fight, but the fact that it went 12 rounds, I heard there was 2 knockdowns. I read somewhere where the first one was a flash knockdown, but according to Fernando Vargas, you could get more insight on that than I. But, you know, I mean, I thought Mayorga was going to win from the get-go. It's just surprising they went 12 rounds.
Definitely. I saw the fight, and Knowledge has had the fight for about a week. He's slacking. Mayorga did his thing. He came in there, he showed a little bit more boxing ability, or he was more calm with his punches. He wasn't swinging as wild as he normally does. But, I mean, he's still Mayorga. He still did what he does best, and that's just pretty much throw wild punches and hope to connect one. And he did. It was, I believe it was in the 11th round. It was right at the end of the bell. That one was the one that landed flush on Vargas and knocked him down. And then he did it in the first round, but it was more, I kind of agree with Vargas. It was more of a slip and a punch just connected at the same time. But anyways, we did the prediction right. Mayorga won by decision. Moving along, Cintron versus Jesse Feliciano. I was very, very impressed by Feliciano. On my scorecard, I even had him up on Cintron by 8 rounds, to the point where he got knocked TKO'd and the referee stopped the fight in the 10th round. But Cintron had flashes of brilliance and greatness when he showed that he could actually box and keep him at bay with his jab. If Cintron would just do that the whole time, he would have put him out a lot sooner.
This is a fight that I did get to see, and by far Cintron was devastating when he boxed. He stayed on the outside. He used good range. Once he found his range, he connected with his punches, and he was devastating. That's why every time we would see Jesse Feliciano, who's a tough kid, get rocked. But I mean, it just goes to show you that, you know, sometimes fighters rise to the occasion. And Feliciano, big ups to you. You rose to the occasion. You actually made Cintron look horrible. He looked ugly in this fight, and now everybody's talking about Paul Williams is going to destroy Cintron. And I guess that fight's going to come up in March.
So we'll talk about it then. A fight we forgot to mention on our last show, and we apologize for this. UK fans, you jumped all over us, harassed us in the emails. David Haye versus Jean-Marc Mormeck. And David Haye with the TKO in the 7th round by impressive fashion. It was a beautiful, I mean, it was a good fight. It was back and forth. Mormeck dropped Haye early.
I was going to say he dropped Haye.
Dropped Haye early, and then Haye came back, and in the 7th round put him out.
As a true champion, you rise up and you conquer your foes. And, you know, Haye showed some resilience there, actually getting up and getting his feet underneath him again and going to the fight.
It definitely, and I mean, he showed that he's got the heart of a champion and he can do some damage. What I don't kind of like is the fact that he had to lose so much weight and now he's going back to heavyweight. What I read on the site.
That's what I've read. We'll see.
I'd like to see him stay at cruiserweight. I hope you stay at cruiserweight, David Haye. Congratulations on your victory and becoming cruiserweight champ. Now for the predictions, we're gonna run through them real quickly. Sanchez versus Julio Cesar Chavez. I got Chavez, possibly by knockout. Although Sanchez is, I guess, a good club boxer from New Mexico, and he's from what I've read, he's just a decent boxer.
Decent fighter, probably a good, you know, he's got a record behind him, but I mean, he really hasn't fought anybody to the caliber of Chavez, and Chavez hasn't really fought anybody to the caliber of this guy, so we're going to see where they stand after this fight. But I'm going with Chavez myself.
Okay, Jorge Arce versus Wyndel Janiola from the Philippines.
Little bit noise with this guy. Supposed to be a tough and rugged kid. He's only lost by decisions, never been knocked out. So Jorge Arce might have his hands full, but I'm going with Jorge Arce.
I'm going with Jorge Arce only on the fact that, I mean, he looks like he's serious from the pictures that I've seen of him, I guess, training and sparring. He looks like an assassin. I mean, he's chiseled and he looks like he's ready to go, and he's always been a crowd favorite, a crowd pleaser, and that he's always there to fight and never back down.
Definitely.
So Jorge Arce is one rolling with. Ivan Calderon versus, some sites say Manuel Vargas, others say Juan Esquer. Either way, Juan Esquer is more of a puncher. Vasquez more of a a boxer, I guess, by looking at the actual record.
Either way, Ivan's gonna box their heads off. 12-round decision. I
agree. Celestino Caballero versus Mauricio Pastrana. I got Caballero winning, but not because I like him. I hate his style. I don't think he's that great. But I mean, he gets the job done. Obviously, if he won the decision over Ponce de Leon, he's got to be decent.
It speaks highly for him. He's just a very tall boxer at 5'11", at 122 pounds. That's unheard of. Just one of those tall, lanky guys. And I think he's gonna box this kid, and that's what he does. He keeps his range and punches, and that's how he wins.
All right, the next one is going to be Antonio Tarver versus Danny Santiago. Danny Santiago, some of y'all might remember him as the guy that
didn't make the weight in the contender show.
And Antonio Tarver, look for Tarver to win a boring decision.
I think that Antonio Tarver, this is the second opponent he was supposed to have in this date. So, I mean, whatever, Antonio Tarver, here's your gimme fight, I believe.
Again, look for a boring decision. Vernon Forrest versus Michel Piccirillo, and it could be a great fight.
Cause it could be two boxers going at it.
Two boxers going at it. Michel Piccirillo is no bum.
No.
He's good, got the skills. And Vernon Forrest, as you've seen, a resurgence in his career after his beautiful performance versus Carlos Baldomir.
Definitely, I think these two guys are going to go head-to-head in this fight. I'm going to say Vernon Forrest by either late stoppage or 12th round unanimous decision.
I'm looking for another beautiful performance from Vernon Forrest. The only bad thing about it is when he fights that manner, it's so great and so one-sided that it kind of becomes boring.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he completely dismantled Baldomir, and it was great for the first 6 rounds, and then it was like, oh my God, somebody
stopped the fight. That's a different style, though. Carlos always coming forward. I think with Michel, he's going to be more of a box. It's going to be a chess match, and hopefully it's not a boring chess match.
So we're rolling with Forrest. Next one, Rey Bautista versus Jesus Rios.
Man, I'm just gonna go with the Pinoys again on this one. Rey, he's a solid kid coming up after his loss from Ponce de Leon. No shame in that. Ponce de Leon's an assassin as well. So Rey, just go ahead and step up, do your thing, and hopefully you get the bigger fights later on.
I agree. Moving on, Howard Eastman versus John Duddy. Definitely this is gonna be the test for John Duddy. Howard Eastman, a rugged, tough, hard-punching veteran out of the UK.
Yeah, the NFC bomber. I mean, he's just a really tough guy. He's fought Hopkins, he's fought Joppy, he's fought some really good guys at 160. So if John Duddy, if you're the real thing, this is a test for you right now.
Rolling with John Duddy to win this fight, but definitely can't sleep on Howard Eastman just for his power.
Definitely.
Arthur Abrams versus Wayne Alcock. Rolling with Arthur Abrams after his beautiful dismantlation of his last opponent. I mean, I've got no choice but to go after with Abrams. I mean, he did what he had to do, and hopefully he does the same against Wayne Alcock.
He's a boxer, and I'm looking at him winning this fight as well.
Pretty Boy Floyd versus Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, man, we could spend hours. As a matter of fact, next week we're going to dedicate a show to these two, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. But I'm going to roll with right now. I'm leaning towards Pretty Boy Floyd in a boxing.
I see Pretty Boy Floyd winning by decision, but I'm rooting for Hatton.
I feel you on that.
Jeff Lacey versus Peter Manfredo Jr. I've got it for Lacey. I just think Lacey is a stronger opponent at that weight class. I see him battle tested definitely in his career, and for them it's a crossroads fight. Either whoever wins this one's gonna step up and be more of a challenger in the 168 division. And I just see Lacey just being just stronger than Peter Manfredo and going to town on him.
Both these two guys went against Joe Kaze. One got put in a 12th round unanimous decision. The other one was stopped in 3, whether it's it's premature stoppage or not. I think the one that learned probably the most would be definitely Lacey by far. How much damage did he take in that fight is yet to be known, and I think this fight will decide who's learned the most and who got damaged the most.
Daniel Ponce de Leon versus Eduardo Escobedo.
That Mexican assassin, dude. I mean, he's just a killer, and I'm looking at him do the same thing to this opponent.
I agree. I see him winning by knockout. And then for Australian fight fans, we got Anthony Mundine versus Jose Clavero.
Yo, Anthony's cleared up that eye. He's trying to get back in the mix. Hopefully, no effects from that eye infection that you had, and you're ready to go and get your win.